nearly 15 years, Utah has attracted national attention and accolades for leading out on the immigration issue known as an effort as the Utah Compact.
120 leaders in government, business, and community signed the compact back in 2010 to try to influence the tone and the guiding principles of immigration policy. Deanie Wimmer has been looking into what impact the compact has had on our state. Deanie, what did you find?
Dan and Ashley, the question we've been asking is it relevant now? That's what our team will be exploring all this week as we focus on Immigration 2025, the dream divided. Tonight, the original signers of the compact tell us why they still see its importance today. It was a remarkable moment given the political landscape of 2010. The immigration debate grew increasingly hostile. Our neighbor to the south, Arizona, passed a law that obligated police to determine someone's immigration status if there was reasonable suspicion a person was in the country illegally.
Everybody across America is watching Arizona right now, and the violence is off the chart.
That contention actually motivated leaders in Utah to find a more tempered approach.
And you could feel some of the same turmoil, controversy, unrest that was being felt in Arizona coming to Utah. And Utah leaders didn't want that.
Let's establish what we think are the important principles that ought to be followed with immigration reform.
Community, business, and religious leaders spent months working on wording, and more than 100 organizations signed the final document.
It set Utah apart.
It certainly did set Utah apart.
We stood out as a state to say, we're going to be reasonable in our approach.
The 5 guiding principles of the Utah Compact for Immigration Reform: federal solutions, law enforcement, support for families, the economy, and a free society.
Should we keep families together? Absolutely. Should we enforce the rule of law? Absolutely. Can we do it in a compassionate way? Yes.
That Utah way, forging our own policy path, set a tone for lawmakers, and the compact put Utah in the national spotlight.
It was praised by the left, it was praised by the right, and then there were a lot of states that tried to replicate it.
Including Texas, Florida, Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas.
What I hear people say...
Fast forward to today, is there still broad support for the Utah Compact? The governor says yes.
Utah Compact, do you still support it?
I do. Yeah, I believe in the Utah Compact. I believe in the reasons behind it.
But others aren't so sure.
We've shifted away, perhaps, from the principles of the compact.
Some original signers are calling for another signing of the Utah Compact to offset the negative rhetoric.
I think it would be good if we could reaffirm once again that that's the Utah way.
The Utah way may not be enough to bring leaders back to the signing table, but economic realities might.
Has it impacted business in Utah?
It stabilized our workforce, which is so critical to our economy.
As one of the fastest growing states, economists say we need immigrants.
Immigrants are a huge part of our economy.
There are more than 304,000 immigrant residents in Utah that contribute $1.2 billion in state and local taxes. The Salt Lake Chamber says immigrant entrepreneurs bring in $650 million to our state's economy. Recognizing the impact, state lawmakers tried to follow up on the Utah Compact with laws that allowed migrant visas and work permits, but they were challenged in federal court on the grounds they overstepped federal jurisdiction. And that underscores the need for federal policy on immigration. And that's where they say the federal government needs to do their job. And tomorrow night, we will ask our congressional leaders about that very topic. In fact, this whole week, we'll have coverage of immigration, the dream divided, at 10 o'clock. Such an important issue. Hope you'll join us.
Thank you, Deanie. And to watch KSL's original coverage of this issue back in 2010 when the Utah Compact was first created, you can scan this QR code here to a playlist, and you can check out those original stories on the KSL YouTube page.